Glenn, have you put yourself on mute? Nothing's playing out on this end, pal.
For that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we will rise, oh, we'll rise.
Hello guys, you can't fail but to get tingles on that, can you, when you hear that song? So welcome to the Lancashire User Forum on this beautiful Saturday evening. Before I kick it off, I would like the audience, if they could please, to show us a bit of love. Start getting this shared, start pressing the like buttons. And for me, let's just do a round of introductions. So I'm Scott Parker, I work for Red Rose Recovery. I also work for Liaison Diversion, which is part of the police referrals. And I'm going to introduce my beautiful guest, Glenda. Of course, Stephen, of course.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's LUF Lounge. And the reason that he said Glenda will become apparent in the near future, because I'm going to tell you why that's become apparent. So, welcome.
Nice one, Glenda. So let's start a round of introductions. Louise, would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name's Louise. I work for Red Rose Recovery, also contracted out to Liaison and Diversion team. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you too, Louise. We're going to hear more from you later. Danny, would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please, pal?
Hi guys, I'm Danny. I was a detective constable in West Yorkshire Police for 20 years, working all over the place. All over the world, in fact, and I was ravaged by the illness of alcoholism and also anxiety and PTSD. I forged some links with Scott recently, and he's invited me on, and I'd love to share my story and my journey.
I can't wait for that kind of stuff, Danny, and I know what kind of brilliant stuff you're doing as well, pal. Thank you very much for that, and we will hear your story later on, fella. Now, Nigel, would you like to unmute yourself really quickly and introduce yourself, pal?
Yes, I will. My name's Nigel, recovering addict, 26 years of addiction, clean now from all substances, 14 months yesterday. Yes, I'm a college student studying music and production technology and performance.
Thank you very much, Nigel, and we're going to get to hear some of that music very, very shortly. And Gemma, would you like to come in and introduce yourself, please?
I'm Gemma. I'm one of the lead volunteers for Central for Red Rose. I also work with other agencies that help people and support people with substance misuse, and I'm also in recovery.
Thank you very much, Gemma. And Gemma's going to be helping us out tonight with the comments and questions as well. So, guys, show a lot of love. Start getting your questions and your comments out there as well. And last but far from least, our famous Emily Kinder.
Oh, stop it. Hello, I'm Emily. I'm in recovery from alcoholism and I volunteer with Red Rose. They're my second family, and I'm going to be on here talking about puzzle productions.
Thank you very much, Emily. It's always good to have you on this platform. So we're gonna start it a little bit unconventional tonight. We've only just come up with it in the last couple of minutes, although we have got a competition that's been running out on the LUF page, and it's been a fancy dress competition. Now, Glenn's got a few images of the people that's entered it. Hold on to your seats. It's going to be a little bit different, and I think Glenn is now going to take it over and give us a running commentary through these, because I can't wait for them.
Yeah, so on the back of last week's or the week before's LUF Lounge with the East team, they did a competition for the best hat, and it was well received. So we jumped on the back of that and decided to do a fancy dress one. So We Are With You, which is formerly known as Young at Action, have donated a £20 Boots voucher, which we're going to add into the normal £20 that we're going to give away. So £40 is up for grabs. So the people that have entered have put it on the LUF page, fancy dress. So I'm going to share a few of the images that we received. And then what we're going to do is then early next week, we're going to get a panel together, and then we're going to decide who the winner is, and they'll be the winner of £40. So I'm just going to show all these images. Bear with me, guys.
Cannot wait for these, Glenn. Duh. I've seen them already, and I'm already tickled by them. I'm already tickled by them.
Bear with me, guys.
Don't fear, Glenn.
Can we all see that? So, if everyone wants to see this video, you've got to share it to as many groups as possible, because we want this this platform to reach as many people as possible, because it potentially saves lives. So, get your fingers on the like and share to as many groups. So this is the one that I entered.
And even pictures like this will save lives.
Meat blender.
So, I'm sorry, that's one of the entries. No, we're not biased on this kind of entry, but that's one of the entries anyway.
We've got Gemma Mulholland that entered.
Our own Gemma as well.
Great. Well, that's got to be. Sorry?
One of the Musketeers, my friend, and James Bond stood right next to herself.
That's it. That's it. Bear with me, guys. We've got the PTR one, which is coming up. Can you all see that, yeah?
We can certainly see the kind of inspiration that he's showing there. He must have been loving a bit of music that day.
Got Danny Thomas next.
Yes, Danny. Now I remember this one. This were for a Zoom's Got Talent, and I think they come on as the Spice Girls. Very good night, that one. I think I was hosting that as well.
We've got our very own Daniel in the competition as a mermaid.
Now, do you know what? For effort, on all levels, for effort. You know? It's the pout that does it for me, Glenn. It's the pout.
Just a couple more to show you guys. We've got our very own Emily Kinder. Now, I rung her up when she put this on, because I thought it was a bit of a cop out, but then she explained the reasons why. So I let her off. So come on, Emily, give us a bit of a narrative around why.
It's my Rocky Balboa, it's my boxing jacket. So if I ever need to go out there and, you know, have a fight, I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to be Rocky Balboa. There should be another one. Another one.
I'm getting the impression that you fight people with love today, Emily.
I know, but I had one with my hood up ready for, like, you know, with fists up. That's just me looking glamorous. But then I've got my fighting one. I don't know if he's got that one.
We've got Brad.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of cheating going on there, but I like his style. I do like his style.
And then we've got an unfiltered one of myself.
I am secretly worried about this. I think Glenn likes this kind of stuff. Although, do you know what? Each their own, Glenda.
That's the ones I've got. Emily, I must not have the other one, but I will try and find it and get it out there.
So be sure, guys, the people that have entered, the people that have put it out on LUF page, we will be doing a draw. We will be getting a panel together and we will be giving that prize away. Although, Glenda, I think you're going to have to boycott yours because it was too pretty. And without further ado, I want to introduce Nigel in, and I want him to start us off with a song, as I know that Nigel is very productive now within the way of music and everything else, and I'll let you take it away from there, Nigel.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you very much. This is called Last Weekend. I'll start off with that song, if it's okay. Thank you. In a hotel in Amsterdam, telling you home in a single room. Sickest joke, price of the medicine. I've never done it now, may I please not belong with you. This morning I woke up from a deep and quiet sleep. Ashtray closed and this lonely heart's been. Wrote to you a love song intent to upon my thoughts from me. When Jesus took my hand, see I would say if I didn't mean it, drop me in a fall to pieces too easily. I was aching me with a head full of attitude, but my heart on my sleeve like a stain, and my aim was to lose you. And me in the marketplace, to ever hate, please, would you remind me? See, I was safe within it, drop me and I fell to pieces too easily. I was aching me with a head full of attitude, but my heart on my sleeve like a stain, and my aim was to love you. Put me in the marketplace, you ever hate, please, would you remind me? See, I was safe within it, drop me and I fell to pieces too easily. Nobody else to blame. Hid my head in crying shame. Yeah, there's nobody else to blame. Hid my head in crying shame. Sorry. It took last weekend in a hotel in Amsterdam. Don't you know yet in a single room. Sickest joke, price of the medicine. I've never done it now, may I please not belong with you. This morning I woke up from a deep and quiet sleep. Ashtray closed and this lonely heart's been. Wrote to you a love so intent to upon my arms from me. Jesus took my hand, you see I was safe within me, to drop me and I fall to pieces so easily. I was aching me with a head full of attitude, but my heart on my sleeve like a stain, and my aim was to love you. Put me in the marketplace, if I ever get free, would you remind me? See, I was safe within me, drop me and I fall to pieces so easily. there's nobody else to blame. Nobody else but my sweet self again. Though I can't be with a head full of attitude, on my heart on my sleeve, like a stain of May was to bury you. Meet in the marketplace, have a hate, please, would you remind me? See, I was saved when it needed, struck me and I fell to pieces too easily, too easily, too easily, too easily.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Bravo.
By accident.
But I like the professionalism, how you blended it, you carried it on, you pulled through in strength there, my friend. Any particular reason why you picked that song?
Yeah, because I think it's about addiction. I think I love that song. I just love the tune. I've loved it since I was a kid. You know, it's like Calling the Commotions, 80s song.
Right, brilliant.
And I think it is about addiction. And I've been to Amsterdam a couple of times. And it's just, you know, I like the lyric of "if you drop me, I fall to pieces" and all that lot. I think if we've dropped this stuff, we fall to pieces, and that's what I get connection with that. You know, with his recovery.
Good man, good man. Well, you know, I've got plenty of love and plenty of time for you, Nigel, so stick around because we will be tapping back into more of the musical talents as well, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nigel. So, cheers, pal. I just want to keep reminding you guys out there that are watching, the audience, just a little job for you, just to show us a bit of love. Put the likes on there, put the shares on there as well. Let's get it out to as many people as we can. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker. Do you like that, Louise? Guest speaker. I'm going to introduce my first guest speaker. And she's going to talk a little about her journey. And you know what, Louise? I ain't going to rob you anymore, so I'm just going to let you take it away on that. And the platform is yours.
Thanks, Scott. My name's Louise. I'm an addict in recovery. Yeah, so I'm just going to share my story. I hope somebody gets something from it. And if you don't, just keep listening to other people's stories. So, you know, growing up, all my family was big drinkers. Like, they all loved to drink, but me and my brother, we ended up on the gear and crack, and we was kind of like looked down on a bit, because I think alcohol is a drug. It's one of the biggest drugs going, but some people, they don't see the difference, do they? They think, oh no, at least we're not touching smack, all that kind of stuff. So growing up, you know, at family parties, like, we was allowed to have a drink, and I'd love it, me, these little bottles of lager, and I'd love it. And even if I was sick, I'd carry on. I was a little fucker at school. I was always getting kicked out of school. I know I'd have thought that, I was always getting kicked out of school. But my mum, she was like, it was like our house on the estate, like everybody was allowed in our house. And like when my mum used to finish off at the pub, half of the pub used to come back to our house with her. And that's just how it was. And you know what, I always say this, I used to babysit for this woman on the estate, and she was the same as my mum. She was a mad woman. And everyone used to go back to her house after the clubs and pubs had shut or whatever, and all the guys were smoking crack in the kitchen. And I was like, what are you doing in there? And you know what, I went in, had a crack pipe, and I absolutely fucking loved it. I could take myself back to that feeling now. I loved it. And you know, back then, like, I used to steal from Boots, but it'd be like, you know, them CD players, but you put the actual CDs in and makeup. And I was allowed to sell it to my mum's friends in the kitchen, me. Like, we had no consequences. And it weren't that my mum was a bad mum. She was a good mum. She was a good mum to us all. She was just lost in herself. And I now know that today, you know, she loved to drink, and and the sesh, exactly how and it landed on us as well, and that's how it was. And even though, you know, like at a young age as well, I was always attracted to dickheads. Like, you know, the guy who was stealing the car, that Louise would want that person. Wherever there was a dickhead, Louise's little things popped up, and I was attracted to that dickhead as well. And yeah, so I was always I was from pillar to post, and I had my daughter at an early age. I got pregnant at 16. And do you know what? When my daughter was 8 years old, I thought to myself, I've never gone a day in her life without having something. Didn't stop to think, right, I think I should stop now. Or like, didn't stop to even think of the word addict, because I didn't know. Oh, sorry as well. Sorry about my swearing. I'm used to swearing on sharing on other platforms. Sorry, Scott, I apologise. So I used to, I've lost my train of thought now. Right, so yeah, I had my daughter, and then I thought, I've not used nothing. She was like 8 years old at the time. Didn't think to stop. And then that was it, just carried on and carried on. Ended up in bad relationships. Ended up in one, and it was like it was torture on both ends, you know. But the need for me wanting drugs was hang on, this computer's gonna. The need for me wanting drugs was a lot more than the thought of even thinking, God, I need to get out of this bad relationship, you know. So I was constantly in them, constantly lying, stealing, cheating. I could never seem to do anything right. I was just consumed by using, and I was on scripts. And I remember one day going for a script, and my key worker said to me, would you like to go to a detox and a rehab? And I was like, yeah, sound, you know, just thinking, just give me a break from social services, just give me a break. And they put me in this detox in the middle of Manchester. Oh my God, I loved it. It was hectic, like what I like, what I'm used to. So I goes in this detox, goes off to a rehab, ends up having a little rehab romance, as I did. And, you know, all through that rehab, I was just drinking. And I thought, that's it, I've cracked it. I've not touched any gear. I was off my meth, and I thought, that's it. But you know what? I got out of that rehab, and by the time I'd known it, I'd scored, and I went back to the same person I'd left. I ended up moving to a new area because I thought that'd do me better, but it obviously didn't. So I used to think that, you know, I could go here and it'll change, and go here and it'll change. And you know what? I'd been gone to rehab all that time, and you know what? Within 4 days, I was straight back to doing exactly what Louise does. Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I could go on. There's hundreds of war stories I could say, but you know what? It's about, I want to give someone hope that, you know, we can recover. So then in this meantime, I decided I'll go to my mum's in Blackpool because my mum had moved away. She moved away from us, but you know, she was there every day for us on the phone and like giving me money, and I could always ring my mum. And she'd moved to Blackpool, and I went down to Blackpool, turned up with just a 2-week prescription of methadone. That's all I had. I was in my mum's. My feet absolutely stunk. She had to hose my feet in the back garden. I had to go upstairs, get a shower. I had no clothes, no nothing. I got clothes off my mum, then started going to the charity shops to get some clothes. And then I was going for yet another script in Blackpool, and a guy come out and he said, "Have you been to an NA meeting yet?" Because he'd seen me in one of the rehabs along my way, and I said no, and he said, "I'm going to get a lady to meet you and take you to a meeting, you know." And I went to an NA meeting, and I started to learn about recovery. And I have to watch it because I don't want to share too much about fellowship, but that's the way how I do my recovery. So I went to a meeting. started doing loads of stuff for my recovery. I started volunteering. With Red Rose Recovery. It's nearly 4 years ago now that. I started volunteering for them. I did all the training, that anything that Red Rose said they was doing. Me and my friend, I've done all my recovery with my best friend. Me and my friend, we was there at absolutely everything. Like, we're doing this, right, we're there, we're doing this, we're there. I got a little recovery car, and I absolutely loved it, and that was it. So we was able to do everything. If we got asked to speak somewhere, we'd go and speak. And then on the back of volunteering for Red Rose Recovery, I went to college. I got some education, level health and social care, a level 3 in substance abuse. I've done my level 3 counselling. There's all sorts I've done, but like when I first got to college as well, because I didn't know how to like conduct myself with people, normal people, whatever they are, because I didn't know how to be in that, out of like the inner circle. I ended up getting kicked out of college because of my attitude. You know, I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be around people. When she took the drugs away from me, I felt naked. It was horrible at first. Anyway, I managed to talk my way back into college, and the head of the college said, you know, in a few years, I'm going to be shaking your hand with your degree. And, you know, I've just done my 3rd year into that now. And then a job came up within Red Rose Recovery, working with victims and perpetrators of domestic violence. So I went for the job. I got the job. And that was brilliant. That it was so much like eye-opening as well, and from a perpetrator's point of view as well, because I could play victim all day long, like poor me, and it's not about that, is it? You know, it's about learning about everything. So I did that role for a bit, and I just kept showing up, and then I ended up running groups, and I didn't like running the groups, but you know what? I still fucking did it. I still kept it up, didn't I, Glenn? With gritted teeth, but I showed up every week and I did it.
You did.
And then another opportunity come within that to work in Preston Police custody in the cells, and so I started that role. And you know what? It has been such an eye opener. I absolutely love my job. And then within that, a job came up within the NHS, because we're contracted into the NHS. A job came up within the NHS, and I was thinking, shouldn't go for it. You know, they're not going to employ a little junkie like me. And you know what? I went for the job. I proper revised for the interview, because that was like an exam in itself. And I smashed the interview and I got the job. So, but I'm still waiting for clearance, because obviously I have a criminal record. So there's a lot of clearance to do with the vetting to work within a police station, because basically they're going to be giving me a key to the police station. How fucking mad is that? I used to be the one inside them, inside themselves. Yeah, how things change. Honestly, it's fucking mad. But you know what? My recovery, I need to keep it. So in order to keep it, there's things I need to do. I need to help people. I need to take people through the work that I do. I need to get up every day. Start by just brushing my teeth and brushing my hair, getting some clean clothes on. You know, it's them little things what help you. And I had to go and learn about myself, learn how Louise ticks, learn what Louise likes. I didn't even know what I liked. I looked at some of the photos of when I first got clean. My dress sense, fucking hell, I look like Glenda, honestly. I swear to God.
What's wrong with Glenda? What's wrong with Glenda?
No, just not my cup of tea. But yeah, so I've had to learn all that kind of stuff, you know. My brother got into recovery as well. My brother came down not so long after me, and my brother got into recovery, and he relapsed a few times, and that's hard. But do you know what? Thank God I've always been taught, don't shoot your wounded. Do you know what I mean? No matter what, whoever ever relapses from it, I've actually had detoxed a few people on my settee as well, coming off methadone, because I think, you know, if you're able to help that little bit, help that person, do you know what? Just go and help them. My daughter, we've got a brilliant bond since I've got clean. She's amazing, that kid. How she was dragged up, and she's just started uni doing economics and business and whatever else it is. You know, she's done really, really well, because I had to learn boundaries as well when I first got clean, you know, like, because she used to be able to go out and come in and do as she want. And then when I got clean, I was like, no, this is happening. We're having tea at this time. We're doing this, we're having this. She's looking at me to say, you what? Like, we've never really had rules. And then I'm trying to imply all these rules, and it was chaotic. We was arguing. I was ringing her dad up saying, you can come for her. I don't want her. All that kind of stuff, because I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be a mum. I didn't know how to sit with myself. My house, do you know what? Nobody knocks on my door. And do you know how much of a blessing that is? My house was like Piccadilly train station, honestly. Constantly have people chucking stones up at the windows, all that kind of stuff. Do you know what? I don't have that today. I have my little house. I've got my dogs. I've got my daughter. She's downstairs on a PS4 that I've not even pawned. Never once pawned it. I used to pawn everything of that girl. She couldn't have nothing. Honestly, it was horrendous. She used to sleep with my meth under her pillow so that the guy I was with at the time wouldn't steal my methadone. You know, I had no trust in anybody. I did all sorts to get money as well. Things I'm not proud of. A lot of things I'm not proud of, but I'm not on the platform to share that kind of stuff. But yeah, just, do you know what? Anyone who's out there struggling, however way you get your recovery, just go and get some recovery, get some funny friends, and get like-minded people who understand you. You know, my family now, it's mad, because I get some of my family ringing me up, can I help such and such a body and that, and it was like, that was never possible when I was using. I always wanted something off them, always money for a can, that was it. As soon any word that come out of my mouth, it's like, have you got? I didn't really know a language how to speak, and you hear all these things, these cringy sayings when you come into recovery, and do you know what? Every single one of them's come true, because at first I thought, I can't recover. How am I going to recover? How am I going to stop using? And do you know what? It happened, and I remember being sat there thinking, I've not thought about using for a bit, and luckily, you know, the desire to want to use left me. Don't get me wrong, sometimes, like, not everything's a bed of roses, as you know. You know, when I was 6 months clean, I gave birth to a little boy, and he was born asleep. And you know what? Normally that I would have gone and used on that. My mum and my daughter was like, if you're going to use, can you use at home so we can, you know, so we're there so we can, like, make sure you're all right. And you know what? I didn't use on that. I went and I rang my friend up, and I rang my other friend as well. And one of my friends come and met me, and it was just like, it was mad. And I was more shocked that I didn't use on it. It was just weird. A few weeks after that, my brother OD'd, and me and my mum was in ICU, and looking at her face, oh, it proper hurt me. And I thought to myself, I hope to God I never ever make her feel like that ever again. You know, it's like, because I used to ring her up and be like, oh, he's just levered me, you know, so I could get some money off her. Half of the time he had done, but sometimes he hadn't, just to get some money off her, you know. And it's like, now I live straight across the road from her. I look straight into her bedroom. I know she's tucked up at night. I know she's not worrying about me. My brother lives a few streets away. And you know what? He's doing all right. He's going to be going back in the detox centre. He's stable. He's doing all right. And that's all I can ask of him. And just stay close to him. Like I say, I don't believe in shooting the wounded. I believe in helping everybody I can. That's why I love the job I do, because we get to be with addicts and alcoholics who are fresh in the cells, they haven't even heard the word recovery, and just try and pass a message of hope onto them, you know, that you don't have to be that way, or just, even if they're not interested, still help them in other areas of their life, just to make it that little bit better. I think I have covered everything.
Well, I don't think you're going to get away with it that easy for me, because I know a hell of a lot more about you, Louise. And, you know, for the inspiration that you're showing here, I mean, massive well done anyway, you know, for sharing that part of your journey with us. And not only that, I just had a question though. I mean, would you say there's two different types of recovery? I mean, are we actually in recovery if we just stop the drugs and the drink?
I believe we're recovering, because I'm recovering my daughter back, I'm recovering my mum back, I'm recovering all these things I never had, I'm recovering them back. So yeah, I'm in recovery. Is there different types of recovery? Of course there is. Anybody from any other platform will tell you that.
So, I mean, again, so there is 1,001 different ways to recover, and, you know, we all recover at different paces and everything else. And I think more so for me, it's important as to what you mentioned. It was only until you started looking at yourself and your behaviours around things and everything else, you know, it was that kind of recovery that got you where you are today. You know, having that kind of compassion and empathy for everybody else, wanting to do everything that you can for anybody else, but also having enough in the bank for yourself to actually give that stuff away. And not only that, I mean, it's priceless to think that there's a wage packet at the end of it as well. I mean, that's the bonus. That's the bonus of the kind of stuff that we've done, you know. And working with yourself, I know it's been a total pleasure, you know, and I've watched you grow for, you've been in my recovery bubble for the past couple of years, you know, and for me, I've just seen you coming on strength to strength. And, you know, I think you're fantastic, Louise, absolutely fantastic. Can I just open it up a little bit? Gemma, do you want to come in a second? Have we any questions? Have we any comments? Have we got anybody?
Lots of love going out for Louise, absolutely lots. So we've got Wade, well done Louise, Claire, fab to hear, Lindsay, so good to hear, Chris Rowland, love arts, Lauren Brown, you've come so far, be proud, Dan Littlechild, well done Louise, Stuart Watson, well done Louise, I've never heard a story quite like this. Our very own Emily, well done. Wade, amazing story. Jonathan, what a story, Louise. As some doors close, new ones open. Chris Rowland, truly amazing. Samantha Thompson, amazing story, Louise. And Phil Littleford, yes, Lou, smashed it.
Ah, yes, Phil.
The love art's just firing everywhere, all the way through.
And this is it, isn't it? I mean, the absolute, you know, pleasure of the journey that you put in, and, you know, the kind of things that, the kind of people that it's going to help just listening to that kind of stuff and just having the bravery to be able to look at themselves and share that stuff with the people. Because I knew I couldn't do it on my own, and I needed all you guys as well as everybody else that I've got around me today. And, you know, and you bring that to the table, Louise. You bring that and more to the table, you know. Hence all the love, hence all the love arts, you know. I'm sure our Glenda's got something to say as well.
It'd be rude not to, Louise, wouldn't it? It'd be rude not to.
Okay.
I've had the privilege of working with Louise on multiple contracts and knowing her through her journey. And what I will say is that I know you take it to another level, though, Louise, don't you? So the amount of hours that you actually work, you actually go above and beyond and don't just work them. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story. My phone rings at 7 o'clock in the morning, and if it's downstairs and I hear it ringing, I know who it is instantly. It's Louise. It's about work or trying to support somebody. And the 2 days that she does work, she probably works 5 days to support people because she doesn't see it as a job. And tell a bit more about that, Louise. Why do you do that?
Because I believe the more I give, the more I get back. And I don't just do it to get back. I'm a big believer in, you know, because I've never been able to help anybody in my life. I weren't capable of it. I never had nothing to give. And it's now, you know, I've got a lot to give. You know, I've got some self-worth today. I've got love to give. I've got my experience. You know, the little junkie like me can stop using crack and smack and get clean and stay clean and manage to wind up working in a police station, there's hope for absolutely anybody. I don't care what your past is, what anything is, there is hope for everybody. And I love my job.
I'll absolutely second that. You know, it's the places where we've come from and the things that we've done. You know, obviously we're the inspirations to, you know, being able to send that kind of message out. Sorry, Glenn.
No, no, you're right. And what I'll say is, obviously, I've always believed in you, Louise, and what you can achieve. And I just think that you need to believe a bit more in yourself, and because you've just progressed and progressed and progressed in everything that you've done. So I take my hat off you. And I remember someone saying, it was someone else that said it's from going from a prison badge to an NHS badge. Now that might not be your situation, but the fact that what you've achieved is amazing. I just want to bring Emily and see if she's got any comments that she want to bring in.
Well, I just think you're absolutely brilliant. I've never met you before, and listening to that story, and what I love about you is that you bring humour into it, because I have to bring humour into my recovery or else I can't cope. Yeah. And some of your stories and just the honesty, the fact that you're so honest and out there. Yeah, this was me. This is me now. No, this is what it's about. And I just think you're an absolute inspiration. I was just like, listen, I was like mesmerised listening to your story. And yeah, and I also could relate to a lot of what you were saying, like about my children. Like my eldest would hide the bottles of alcohol from me and like put everything away, put my empty glasses away. Do you know what I mean? Tidy up so that my parents didn't find, you know. And also, I could have done with someone like you when I was in the cells. I could have done with someone like you to come and talk to me and tell me that there is a way out. Do you know what I mean? So that's amazing, and I just think you're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, thank you. And you like say, there's loads of love coming from people, and I just think you're an absolute inspiration. And I think you're a funny girl as well, so that's great. I like a bit of humour. You have to have humour. But it's doom and gloom. It's doom and gloom enough, isn't it? You know what I mean? Addiction and recovery. You need a sense of humour. You need to be able to like fucking smile, and that's swearing with passion. Because swearing with passion.
Yeah, and I heard it all the way through Louisa's story. Swearing with passion. I do have a rule when I do facilitate groups myself. Well, we're only human. We're only human. We didn't come into recovery with halos wrapped around our heads, but this is the progression that we're working towards. Not so much the halo, but maybe the swearing might be something else. But Emily, we'll come back to you on your amusements and everything else, and the way that you like to laugh as well. Louise, unless anybody else has got anything to say, Louise, for me personally, I think you're a fantastic, inspirational kind of woman to have around. We always phone each other as well. We'll give each other a hand, and we'll have them deep, meaningful conversations as well. So, unless anybody else has got anything to say.
Well done, Louise.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Massive inspiration. Cheers for that, honey. Right in, guys. I think, like I said, Emily's already unmuted. She's ready. She's prepped for us. I think we're going to talk about Puzzle Productions. Emily, do you want to talk us through Puzzle Productions and what to expect? Because we've got a VT to play out after you've had a conversation.
Well, it says it all, doesn't it? Puzzled, because we're all a bit puzzled. But my favourite saying is how I like to explain is we're all broken biscuits. And I like broken biscuits. You used to get them off the markets. Broken biscuits, awesome. So we're all broken biscuits. So Puzzle Productions is a drama group that we've set up in our Red Rose Recovery. And it's on a Monday. And we all get together and we all think we're obviously like, some superstars and we're really good at acting. And we are acting. We're all right. I'm getting there. I'm not as good as some. Some are naturals. But it's just getting together and it's just bringing something different to recovery. So, we're trying to piece a story of recovery, addiction to recovery and the story that goes along with it in people's lives. So that, the families that are involved, the people that get hurt throughout this, we're bringing the police into it and you get arrested. And we're just trying to bring a bit of real life to people, and we're just sort of like screening little episodes. And like I said, it's probably more like Shameless than Coronation Street, but I like Shameless. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I get a bit nervous, and I've got a big gob anyway, so I don't know why, but I do get a bit nervous. Like, I mean, an example, I had to pretend to be a police officer, so that weren't my favourite part. But I had to go outside, right, and knock on a random car window pretending to speak to the person had arrested. So I was on my street looking like a proper weirdo, knocking on an empty car and then filming myself saying, can you step out of the vehicle, please? What a bit. Anyway, nobody even noticed. No one obviously cared, just used to me. But it's fun. It's fun and I'm really enjoying it. And like I say, it's open to people on the Red Road. You know, if they want to come in and join the puzzle productions and have a little bit of a part and do a bit of acting, then that's what it's about. And it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun, but it's also we're going and we're showing people what recovery is about and addiction.
So shall we take it away and possibly have a look at this VT that you've all been hard at work producing?
No, I'm not on this one. I'm on next week's, but don't worry about it. It's fine.
And then let's have a look and see what kind of hard work you guys have been doing. And just remember, guys, while you're watching this, throw a bit of love out for us, get it shared, get it to as many recovery platforms as we can. And I think Glenn's going to show us a bit of a VT, aren't you, Glenn?
I am, yeah. And before I do that, I'm just going to say that recovery isn't just about structured groups, about drugs and alcohol, it's about life and moving forward, isn't it? So Puzzle Productions is a platform where it's a bit of fun. It shows about recovery and it shows about real life events. So the reason I'm saying this is because if anybody wants to get involved, not just in projects like this or groups like this, in anything in a sense of Red Rose Recovery, then what I would advise you to do is go onto the Red Rose Recovery website and type in what's on. You can actually access all our platforms from that website. You can sign up to be a Red Rose member. You can do all sorts from there. And you can even send messages to the team and somebody will get in contact with you. And if you've got any anxieties around coming on these sort of platforms, then we can make them initial contacts first and build them that confidence up to get you onto platforms like this. So what I would invite you to do is go onto the Lancashire User Forum page and follow the page. And that way we can spread the love as much as we can. So I'm going to play the Puzzle Productions. There is going to be episodes, so it's like Coronation Street or EastEnders, whichever floats your boat. But I'm going to play that now.
This is series 1, take 1 then, yeah?
I'd probably say Brassic, actually. I'd probably say Brassic. No, I won't say EastEnders.
Can I ask everyone to put themselves on mute then when I share this VT?
Absolutely.
Videotape, as Scott puts it, which we don't do videotapes, but anyway, it's another.
It's a videotape.
So everyone will see that.
Weekend, it's the weekend.
Don't forget tea tonight. I've invited the family round. Why are you so happy anyway? We've got loads to do. We've got your mum and dad coming round and you need to be here. Make sure you are, Terry. Oh, and your brother and sister are coming as well.
Why has the missus arranged a family tea for no reason? How am I going to get out of tonight to go and see the lads? Why have you invited the whole family? What's the reason? I really want to see them, but at the minute, I'm struggling.
There doesn't need to be a reason. It's nice to have the family round. Nip the shop and get some bits we need. Don't be taking forever. Promise me you won't go to the pub.
Terry goes to the shop, but on his way makes a visit to the local.
Yes, Craig. What are you doing tonight? Fancy a few down the Crowns later? I've got this thing that Claire's organised. I've just nipped in the dog for a quick one. I'm not looking forward to this thing tonight. They all gang up on me. They think I've got a problem. I've got a problem. Them.
Yeah, they always do that. It's not for me, that, mate. Listen, I'm just with your Gary now. He's saying he's not feeling it. Why don't we all just go out anyway? Sod what they think, you'll be home by 10, haha.
Okay, mate, sounds like a plan. I'm gonna have to come up with some excuse. I'll get my brain into gear. I'll speak to you later.
Terry gets home.
Where the bloody hell have you been? Don't you know how to answer your phone? I've been ringing you for the past hour. You've been at it again. You think I'm stupid, don't you? Are you going to tell me what's wrong? This has been going on for ages. You're distant, you're here, but you're not here. You're lying to your family, your kids, me. For Christ's sake, what's going on? Do you need help?
That's it, I've had enough. No, I don't need help. All I need is for everyone to stop nagging me. Leave me alone, I'm off!
Terry leaves the house, slamming the door behind him. The family start to arrive.
Been looking forward to this all week. Hey, where's our Terry?
I don't know, just what he wants these days. If I ask him, he says I'm nagging. I've given up asking. Tea's nearly ready.
Mike, you'll eat what you get given. Can't you see that she's upset? He's a bloody idiot. Don't say that he's fine, love, because he isn't. He's up to his old tricks again. Just open your eyes, Mike, and you'll see what's going on around here now.
Nah, it wouldn't be drugs. He likes a pint like me. No way, he'll be back soon, eh, Claire? I want to tea because I'm starving. Oh, Brill, here's Sophie and Gary. Good timing, you two. Time to eat.
Hi all. Hi Claire. You look busy. Do you need a hand? It smells great. I'll help you dish up. Hang on, where's Terry? Don't tell me he's done a runner again. He's always been the same. The artful dodger we all called as a kid always got away with everything. You look stressed.
He's pissed off again. He'd rather be with his so-called mates, doing whatever. I think he's doing drugs. I can't take much more.
He's always been the same selfish pig. He loves upsetting everyone. He knew Claire was looking forward to today. Hey, Soph, I'll go and see if I can find him. Try and keep the peace here.
A few hours later, Terry arrives home. Claire called Sophie.
Hiya, Sophie. Sorry to wake you up. I didn't know who else to talk to. Terry's just fallen in the door, off his head. I'm at my wit's end. I'm so worried all the time. He'll end up in the gutter, dead from drugs, beat up, in prison. I don't know where to turn. I've left him on the couch. Now I'm worried in case he bloody chokes or something. It's a nightmare.
Right, it's about time we got together and tried to sort him out. He's like a little kid at times. He needs to grow up and face up to what he's becoming. We need to stick together to get through this. Enough is enough. Wait a bit then. Nip downstairs, make sure he's okay, then try and get some sleep. You need your strength. And I'll call you first thing in the morning. Night night, hon.
The next morning, Leona talks with Matthew.
Wake up, wake up. Dad's on the couch again. I knew there would be trouble when he never turned up for the meal. I heard them all talking about it. It'll end up with them getting divorced, like Mary's mum and dad. Now she only sees him once every 2 weeks. I want us all to be together. What should we say? I'm frightened to go to school in case there is trouble.
Don't let them hear you. They'll only make it worse. Heard Mum crying all night last night. Couldn't get to sleep. Don't feel like going to school. Just pretend we haven't noticed. We've got a grandma's at the weekend. Maybe we could ask them. I could ask the council at school, but I really don't want to let them know about it.
Okay, kids, time to get up. Breakfast ready. Don't wake your dad up. Make sure you've got your books, PE kit, and dinner money's on the table. I'm off to work. Bye.
The kids leave for school. Terry wakes up and calls Claire.
Hello? Claire, are you there? Why didn't you wake me? I'm sorry about yesterday. I got a bit involved with the lads and didn't realise the time. Are you there, Claire? Are you there? Oh, you're giving me the silent treatment. Well, that suits me just fine. See you in a bit.
Well. That's got to go up for the Soap Awards, hasn't it, this year? It's got to, surely.
Well, I'm thinking, me personally, when it goes on BBC, that I want my name in cast somewhere. Yeah? But obviously, Emily, talk us through a little bit of it.
Right, so that's the first episode. So it's starting off with, you know, the cycle of addiction and the mayhem that it causes, and the family, you know, people get dragged into it. So it's obviously been done with plenty of empathy, because us addicts and in recovery can relate. So it's bits of our lives, really. I'm liking the music. What's that? Anyway, so yeah, this is what we do. So each week we you know, we get on the Zoom and we start doing the next episode. So it's like you say, it's real life. It's bringing, you know, what we see as what happens in addiction with families, friends, and it's also a bit of fun as well.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic how, you know, with this day and age and with the COVID and everything else, you know, how we're trying to implicate other things, you know, how we're trying to get over awareness out there as well, but by using technology today as well. And I think it's been really well improvised. I don't know who's come up with a backstory, but I think it's been really well improvised as well. But
it is. It's just, and it's, you know, we're all trying to get used to using our phones to like record little bits and then like do it at the right time. So we like rush off, you know, in the meeting. We're like, right, we've got to go and record our bit. So we'll go off and we'll record it, and then it's got to be like done properly. So we're trying really hard, and we're having fun as well. You know, so and hopefully people will like it and enjoy it. And like I said, it's real life. It's real life in addiction and recovery. So.
Yeah, I absolutely think you guys have done fantastic there, and well done to all the guys in the cast. Yeah, listen to that, the cast and the production of the first series of Red Rose Recovery. Eat your heart out. Yeah, it's BBC pilot coming on here. I can feel it. Yeah, but I think well done to the guys that's got themselves involved as well, because let's be right, it takes a little bit of courage to put yourself out there and start reenacting certain situations. And not only that, you know, it starts reiterating, you know, where we've come from, the kind of things that we've done as well. You know, so there's a strong message in there as well, and the kind of people that we affect on the back end of that, you know, the kind of stuff that we don't usually see. You know, that gives a message then as to, you know, the kind of ripple effect that addiction has on all the rest of the family, and the kind of day-to-day things that we take advantage of at the time while we're in the grips of addiction. As to, you know, I think it's brilliant, mate.
I think we might be bringing a panto out next year, but we'll leave that one. You know what I mean? It could be a puzzle production panto next Christmas.
Can I just say as well, I know that was around 9 minutes of footage, but I know that the hard work that's gone into that just to get that footage. There's been weeks and weeks, hours of obviously people behind the scenes, some people that are not on this platform. So I just want to give them a shout out as well, because obviously there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have got this together. So on that as well, I just want to bring Gemma in to see if there's any community comments.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. You know, you come into group every week and you go on about this puzzle productions. It was great to see that. So Chris wants to know, is there enough of puzzles to binge watch? He wants to know if there's enough to be able to binge watch it.
No, not yet.
Go on, Emily.
Not yet, because we're just doing the second. We've just finished doing the second episode, so no, you know, it takes time. This perfection takes time. You just have to hang fire.
But I do believe that there will be more episodes. So there's going to be hopefully a box set, and hopefully, we'll be out there. I might even make a guest appearance in one.
It's Glenda. It's Glenda.
Glenda. Yeah, why not?
Go on, Gemma.
So our very own Bev says, I can see some Oscars coming our way, guys. Brilliant job. Alison Kershaw, fantastic. Wade, this is fantastic. Jonathan, whoever thought of this, so funny, but seriously, those guys to show the talents within Red Rose Recovery. Stuart, better than Hollyoaks. So we've got better than Hollyoaks out there. Tracy, really powerful and so real. Diane, fantastic production, well done. Haven't got any more. And Wade's put out there, it's better than Hollyoaks.
Nice one for that, Gemma. And just remember, guys, keep liking, keep sharing. You know, let's just share the, you know, the joy of recovery as well. You know, the kind of things that we can get involved in. Let's share like the kind of real kind of passionate things that we, you know, we're getting a better understanding. Because if we look at the underside of that, we're getting a better understanding of, you know, the kind of effects that we have as well on other people. So it's not only just having a bit of fun, it is bringing in a bit of, you know, understanding towards the kind of effects that we've had as well. So it has like a double-edged sword for me, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Emily, thank you very much.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Thank you very much, and we look forward to that box set, co-produced by the famous guys in the background as well as yourself. And I'm sure I can't wait for next week's for your performance as well.
As a policewoman.
Well, listen, hold on to that. How life changes. How life changes. And on that note, actually, that brings us brilliantly and fantastically into our next guest. So, Danny Bolton. So I met Danny a few weeks ago through my sister being curious about people in recovery, and she connected me and Danny together. And we've had a couple of conversations. And Danny has his own page as well, where he does recovery talks and everything else. And I've listened to a good few. But I'm not going to rob you, Danny. I know that you're here to talk about your experience and to give us a little bit of a background of where you're from, what's happened, the kind of recovery that you've got today, Danny. But I will let you take it away, my friend.
Thanks for that, pal. Much appreciated. So I'm Danny. I'm 44. I'm from over the border. Some will say God's country in Yorkshire, but I don't know if I should really say that on this platform. I'm in recovery. I'm only 5 months into recovery at the moment, but when I couldn't even see another hour, 5 months for me was fantastic, as I have that addiction to alcoholism that some of us will be able to relate to and resonate with. My relationship with drinking didn't really start until I was about 18 or 19. And prior to that, I had pretty much a fantastic upbringing. Father was in the army. Mother was a perfect mum. I travelled the world. I had a sister that was 10 years younger than me that I had a very, very good relationship with. And for all intents and purposes, my life was perfect. I had no underlying issues. I became a footballer when I was sort of 16 at Barnsley. And all throughout my childhood, football was a big thing for me. So I thought that was going to be my career and the end of living the bright lights. But at 18, that came crashing down when my apprenticeship finished and I didn't have a club. And that was the sort of first rejection that I sort of felt. And on the back of that, I didn't really know what I was going to do or what I was going to do. And I sort of stumbled through looking at different sort of careers, and I fancied the police force. So I applied for that. It was 18 months to get in. And at 21, I joined West Yorkshire Police. And I got a pretty decent job, to be fair. It was a dream job. And I will definitely say I've had some of the best times in my life as a cop. Started on uniform. Only did 2 years on uniform. And because I was reasonably good at football, I ended up playing for the CID team. And they took me under the wing at Bradford. And I suddenly became part of the CID team. After 2 years, you used to have to wait for about 5 years to get in, but into the CID. But I got in within 2 years, And then what came with that was my sort of drinking habits and my relationship that spiraled with the drinking. So as you can imagine, you'll see on the telly, people that you may or may not know, stories of being a cop, like being in any emergency services, you come across some harrowing and tragic sort of incidents. I had a propensity to be reasonable good as a detective, so I ended up being a lead on some of the main jobs that was there. And the drinking would start on an evening when we'd finished work, when we were had a busy day, and the drinking would then continue once I'd got home. And the drinking, then I used to think of any excuse whatsoever, because it was starting to get closer and closer a grip of me. So if I were having a bad day, I'd have a drink. If I were having a good day, I deserved a drink. If I were just going to an event and somebody needed to drive, I would make any excuse whatsoever that I didn't have to drive because I wanted a drink and I deserved a drink because I'd worked so hard. And the relationship that I was having with it, I started to drink more than what others were drinking. I started to drink at a faster rate that everyone was drinking. A couple of people raised eyebrows in that I like to drink, but never thought anything of it. I ended up with a wife who was everything to me, a beautiful model of a wife, 3 children that still are my world, nice house, a couple of pennies in the bank, a couple of nice cars, and for the exterior world, they thought that everything was perfect in my life. But as a result of being a detective and doing what I did, I had the fortune to work all over the world, and I started, from the early stages of my career, really, I started suffering from anxiety. That there was no way that I could tell anybody that I was suffering from anxiety. I don't know if I have a pause there. No, we're all good. Yeah, suffering from anxiety. And because of the masculinity of the role that I was doing, that I wouldn't tell anybody. I would not open up to one person that I was potentially, and I didn't realise it at the early stages, suffering from mental health issues. Then on the back of a couple of traumatic incidents, I discovered that I got PTSD, and they were really starting to affect me. So not only was my social drinking exasperating, and I was drinking more often and more amounts, copious amounts of it, it was exasperated by the mental health side of it. Turned into, as we all know, what happens with cells that have the addiction to alcoholism to a daily occurrence. And now it wasn't just excuses that I needed or to manipulate a situation. We're very clever at manipulating situations, aren't we? I had the issues of the mental health side of it that I could not tell anybody about. So I was drinking to get rid of that. And temporarily it would. But as we know, with the alcohol, it only worsens for the anxiety following that. But then you keep drinking and keep drinking. Marriage broke up 3 years ago. And at that time, just prior to that, I was stopped drink driving one Sunday afternoon. But for the grace of God, I'd only had 3 pints on that afternoon. But I was stopped, I was breathalyzed, I was arrested, I was taken to Skipton police station. I was charged and subsequently convicted at court, where I got £480 fine. I lost my license for 18 months, and I was given a curfew 6 at night while 6 in the morning. Not really sure why I got given that curfew, but I did for 3 months, possibly because I was a cop, but whatever. I got given it, and I had to walk around the house with the embarrassment of having a football sock on my ankle all the time because I could not let my children see that Dad had got a tag from some stupidest thing that he'd previously done. Still at that point, didn't believe that I had a problem. You know, I'd calls at times to be on the wife's phone, and I'd seen that she Googled numerous times, how do you know if your husband's an alcoholic? Simplest terms, really. And still I didn't believe that I'd got one. The marriage broke down, and at that point, it was self-destruct time. And we don't need too many excuses when self-destruct comes, when we've got the addiction, when it's ravaged his mind, and when it's ravaging his body. I were up for self-destruct. I thought, this gives me a real excuse to give it some right welly now. So I did, and I went on it. I managed to, I lost my job in the police, obviously, on the back of the conviction. I managed to get into a managerial role But because I was so bad with it now, the body, and it had gripped me 100%, the body were needing it badly. So in the morning I'd be going, didn't have a license, so I'd be walking 3 miles to work, and I'd be stopping off at the shop for half a bottle of vodka, and I'd be dogging that neat, or mixing it with a slight bit of Lucasade on occasion, on Canal Topa, to get into work just to level out. I was never really aggressive in drink. I was sharp with my tongue, verbal at times. Didn't really look drunk, would never fall over, so I could mask it. I could mask it quite easily. 12 o'clock would come when I was at work. As soon as I knew it was my lunchtime, I'd be out of that door down to, I lived over the border with you a lot, over in Colne at the time. So I didn't work too far from Thatch and Thistle. So that was my godsend of an afternoon, that I could dive out there to go get 2 glasses, large glasses of rosé wine in me, to level out for the afternoon. And then I'll be off again, back to work, and then finish work, and then we go again, won't we? Pick up another bottle for the way home, smash that to pieces, and then get home and have more, depending on what I was having that night. But certainly wine or vodka, more than likely the vodka. And it got worse and worse. And then Christmas of last year, I had a bit of a reconciliation with the wife, and I went back there, and I thought all my dreams had come true, and they had, because I was back with my family. But I'd still not dealt with my demons, and I'd still certainly not dealt with my alcoholism. And May of this year, I did something where I don't regret it because it's making me better, but I've made the hardest decision ever of my whole life, and that was to take myself away from my family and leave them. And I did, but I knew I had 1 drink left in me, and I knew it would be a big drink because I was really poorly in my head and in my body. And I went, and I had 10 days on it. I had a house that I'd rented that I'm in now, a beautiful little cottage. And I came here and I sat, you won't like to know this, bit in my underpants for 10 days, not giving a toss about what I looked like, smelt like, but I could just go for it for 10 days. And I did. And then after the 10th day, I rang my best mate, and I said, I'm done. I'm just in a right mess, and I need some help. And he got me some help, and I enrolled subsequently into a recovery project over in Yorkshire. And I couldn't string words together. I couldn't pick up pens. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't see past an hour. But I did what you've all done that's in recovery, and we start from the very bottom, don't we? And we try and look to within what we can do to get better, and take that hour by hour and the small steps that we have to do. And I did, and I researched and researched and researched. I've been weaned off of the alcohol that we have to do to start with. I then did the detox program. God knows how I got through it, but I did. And then I found some real mental strength in my own mind that I never thought I had, to expose myself onto social media, which I did in July of this year, to say my name's Danny. I'm very fortunate. I have a large network of friends who still didn't know the majority of them. My name's Danny, and I'm suffering from an addiction to alcoholism. And I also suffer from mental health issues of anxiety and PTSD. I did that because I wanted to be accountable to everybody for what my actions were going to be within recovery. And on the back of that, there was 18,000 views from the first video that came out. And then I post not far off daily since then, and there's always a couple of 3,000 that plumb into it. And I just give a road to recovery of my journey that I have, and it helps me. But then also what's coming out of the back of it is helping so many others. And there's over 200 people that have reached out now, so that I just listen to, signpost, and try and give my experiences of what worked for me, what didn't work for me, that they're not alone, that all the symptoms that they're feeling and suffering, I felt them, or the majority of them, I felt them. And it's from all addictions as well. It's from narcotics into gambling, it's from mental health, from depression, bipolar, PTSD. You know, we all work together, and my recovery is absolutely flying. And I'm so fortunate at this moment in time that I've been able to, I won't say crack it, because recovery is forever, and it's a daily basis for me that I work it. I do still work it hour by hour, but it's subconsciously hour by hour now, but most definitely it's consciously day by day. And I'm helping others. There's loads that are getting on that road at the moment. and it's good. And when we're first starting, and people, I don't know if I'm rambling here, and I do apologise. I know that for a fact, when I was told it gets better, I didn't see it. I didn't believe it, and I didn't see it 100%. I didn't. I have got a huge amount of mental strength that I didn't believe I had. Now I can say that now, but I looked within myself. I had to love myself initially, like we talk about. I do follow the 12-step program as well. That's helped me, but I had to love myself, find my self-worth, because then once I did that, I knew that everything else could gravitate towards me and things would get better, and they have, most definitely have. And I'm seeing that in other people that I'm doing now, from just a silly old chubby chops that comes on the Facebook platform and tells a daily vlog about, you know, how good it is and how shit it is sometimes, because it is shit sometimes. Certainly in the early stages, it's tough, really tough, and I found it really tough. But then what I find rewarding about recovery is the things that I took for granted, the small things. I don't have to chase that £100,000 a year. I don't have to chase a 5-bedroom house, the fast cars, the nice cars. I'm happy with the children in my world. My ex-wife is a very important part of my life because she's the mother of my children. And the children are the sole thing that I work every single day for, to remain sober, head on the pillow every single night, to remain sober and be the best dad that I can be. And I'll be honest with you guys, at the moment, just 5 months, but my life is pretty good. It's a damn sight better than it was. I miss out on hell of a lot. I haven't got the things that I used to have, but for where I can be at this moment in time, it's pretty good. And I do hugely encourage, if anyone can take anything out of this share, hugely encourage get into recovery, get the help that's out there, the support that's out there, because there's a huge amount. You will be flabbergasted by how much enjoyment you can get out of being in recovery when it's not as bad as what you think. From my point of view, anyway, I thoroughly flourish within recovery. It's the best thing I've ever done.
Absolutely, Danny. And you know what? Massive well done for that as well. Because, you know, again, I know that you're on a social media platform, but even on a platform like this, I know how difficult it is to share them, you know, nitty-gritty bits of stuff and what have you. And, you know, to have the courage to sit here and, you know, expose ourselves and what have you, and not leave ourselves too vulnerable to, you know, to the elements. And we've had a couple of conversations, but I mean, I think for me, you know, I think it's fantastic how. All right, well, let's start from the beginning. So what I got out of that is that pride and ego and stigma and it were all them kind of things that held you back from even recognising who Danny was and, you know, the kind of things that he was suffering with and everything else, you know what I'm saying? And then the pressures of the job, you know, especially the stigma of the job as well, you know, and I think it's absolutely brilliant, you know, how many lives can go on different paths. The best careers in the world can go on different paths, but how we meet up on the same path as individuals, as addicts, as like understanding each other and, you know, motivating each other at the back end of that. You know, I think the humility in that is massive as well, because I know the amount of people that's reaching out to yourself on your platform. And what else do you do though, Danny? What else have you done recently?
Yeah, so I wanted to challenge myself to see what I could do mentally and physically to help with raising awareness, because it has gone crazy, is the Facebook stuff, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I love it. I love helping people. It helps me hugely. So I'm doing a 24-hour continuous walk from Barnsley to Bingley, West Yorkshire, which works out around about 72 hours, obviously 24 hours continuously. I'm doing it on Mad Friday, 18th of December, but I'm called it Recovery Friday, and it's going to be tough. So I did some training last Sunday. I mean, I've been doing quite a bit of training anyway, sort of a couple of hours here and there most days. But I did 10 hours last Sunday, 33 miles. Oof, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. And the thought of having to do another 14 hours after that, I'm struggling with. But we've got £1,000 nearly on the page. I set a target of 1,500 quid. So we're not far off with that. All to raise further awareness of addiction and mental health. So yeah, I'm doing that as well.
And how do people get hold of your page, Danny? How are people going to be able to follow you?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. So I'm Daniel Bolton. Anyone on here that wants to not just reach out, but anyone that wants to connect with us, Daniel Bolton on Facebook. I'll accept you as a friend, no problem. It's on there, on the page there. It's just giving page. So I understand the current circumstances and climate. If you can't, don't worry about it. But if you can, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, and this is it, see, Danny. I think you're a massive inspiration. You know, it's the adversities that you face and everything else, as to being into recovery and what have you. And again, you know, it's some conversations that we've had around keeping ourselves safe, about keeping ourselves motivated and everything else. But I'm very inspired as to the video that I followed on the 10-hour walk that you did and how crippled you were at the back end of it. And I'm thinking, poor guy. And I remember you mentioning another 14 hours at the back end of that. But do you know what? That's the mental adversity that you push through now today. That shows you the kind of character and strength of character of what you're about.
Well, the thing for me with that, and I think that people who suffer from any addiction on here will understand that mental obsession we talk about. And, you know, my mental obsession, because I can only talk about myself with the alcohol, were awful, because that's all I think about. Anything I could, how can I manipulate and create a situation so I can have a beer in me, you know, from events to cooking tea to staying over late at work, or whatever the reason would be. The mental obsession were there. I've then now realised with recovery, I've got a different mental obsession, and it's about remaining off of it, because the thought of going back there, and I might do that, fingers crossed I won't do, but I'm not naive enough to think that some, you know, lots don't have relapses and that, but it inspires myself not to think about where I was before, to alleviate and stop me from going back into that world on a daily basis.
And I love the humility of your character as well, Danny. You know, you're a really attractive soul. You're a really attractive character as well. You know, you're very calm. You're very pacey with your wording and everything else. You know, you come across as a really likable character as well. You know, and that's singing your praises here, Danny.
Thank you.
I'm just going to open it up for Gemma, see if we've got any comments, see if we've got any love, see if we've got any likes, see if we've got what's going on. Loads and loads.
So Jonathan says it just goes to show that police officers are only human too. Now, alcoholism does not discriminate.
Good shout.
Willie, well done for sharing. You talk as I know how it feels to be in the place. Well done for sharing your talk. Maria, well done, Danny. Take each day at a time. Jonathan, I take my cap off to you, Danny. Alison, thank you for your honesty. Wade, well, really changed my opinion on cops. Sure, we're all human.
Hey, good man.
Chris, well done, Danny. Truly awesome. Alison, thanks for your honesty. Christopher, thank you, Danny. Inspirational. Chris again, I'm glad you survived, Danny. Many don't. Small blessings are underrated. Barbara, absolutely inspirational, truthful. Sam, love every day as it's the best. 5 months, brilliant achievement. Tracy, it's very brave to be honest. Thank you so much for your honesty. You can help so many. Can somebody put the link on for Danny's page? We've had an ask why. Wade again, mate, you're a role model, amazing guy. And then Judith, brilliant, Danny, amazing, so moving, crying, thinking about your journey, your mental health, so easy to relate to.
I think, and I think that's massive, isn't it, really? You know, the kind of comments that are coming out there around, you know, the police still being human and everything else. And, you know, and that's my concept completely. You know, as where, you know, I think the diversity as the professionals wearing certain hats for certain jobs and everything else, as to realising, you know, underneath we all cut the same, we all bleed the same, you know, we all have the same kind of compassion, the love, the empathy and everything else. And it's the same kind of stuff that will rattle one person, that will rattle another. And, you know, and again, I think it's massive, the, you know, kind of humility that you bring on a page like this. And, you know, for me, we're lucky to have you on here tonight. We're lucky to have everybody on here tonight. You know, for me, it's absolutely lovely that we can all sit here and share a common theme, you know, and tonight was commitment. And this is what I'm saying. I love the commitment as what everybody's shown on this page tonight. Glenn, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I did actually. I think I was mesmerised by your story, and I was just, you wasn't waffling on at all. I was looking at the comments, as you were speaking, and there was a lot of love. And I think the message to take from that is, like you said, addiction affects all of us, doesn't it? It doesn't single people out or roles out or anything like that. And I think you're really brave to come on a platform like that. And I hope that it does change people's perception of like, because we all come through this, well, not all, but a lot of us that come through the criminal justice or come through them backgrounds, we have these perceptions of police, this and that. But ultimately, they are people, and it's other people's values that have been introjected onto ourselves. And then when we find ourselves, we realise that just people like us. And I think it's amazing you coming on and what you've achieved, and to relay that message that it does affect all of us, and the fact that you've come through it. And what I will say is that you said it a couple of times, and people that know me from doing groups and things like that, you said, I'm only 5 months in. I'm only 5 months in. But 5 months is a massive achievement. It's absolutely massive, and I reiterate it to people on a daily basis. You're exactly at the same position of someone that's 10 years in. You're one day from me.
You know what I really like about tonight, and the kind of shares that we've had as well, is because myself, Louise, and Glenn, you know, we actually work in Preston Police Station, and you know, through custody and everything else. Now we've had to change the kind of opinion around addicts, you know, towards, you know, we wanted people with experience. I thought I was overqualified. I had too much experience of being in the cells and being locked up and everything else, although it's the kind of people that they wanted at the time. And that was a service, but it was a police that would come up with more adversity and what have you. But then when we realised, I think for me, it's maybe fear of, and I can't talk for them all, but maybe fear of recognising themselves within that, you know, the kind of suffering and everything else. As to what you talked about tonight, Danny, for you to come and relay that back in a different view, you know, as addicts that's been on the other side of it into crime and everything else, you know, I think it's fucking, did I say that? Swearing with passion. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I think there's, I've been astounded by the response that I've got back from all walks of life, without any shadow of a doubt. But within the police force, I'm obviously still connected. The amount of people that have seen, well, initially it's always the same old, same old. We never knew. If we'd have known, would have been able to try and help you. But you wouldn't have known because we're blind, deceitful bastards, and we hide it and mask it to ensure that we can continue doing what we do. So, you know, you might be the best mind reader that you think you are, but you're not better than an alcoholic, trust me, or an addict, because we're clever. We're masters at being clever. But then on the back of that, because they think that little old me's life and soul got it all, and then does come out, they've felt comfortable themselves in saying, I tell you what, I'd never said this before, but I'm suffering from this, or I've got this problems, and I'm drinking this amount, and I've been hiding it for ages, and I hide my bottles, and does that mean I'm an alcoholic? Well, obviously we know there needs to be more detail than that, but it's not a healthy lifestyle for sure. But they felt comfortable to do it on the back of me doing it. And I think these platforms, I mean, the Red Rose recovery that I've researched from connecting with you, Scott, is outstanding, along with many others, you know, across the country. But it's having the ability to coax it out of someone when they're ready, because we have to be ready. We all know about this, but to have the ability, and I do think it's a skill. He said it before, and not only sure of Scott, you have got it, but to have the skill to coax the readiness out of somebody, you know, is there. But if we can do it, let's help. Let's help people.
And again, I think for me personally, I could talk to you all night, Danny. I could talk to you all night, and we could talk about this all night. And I think, you know, anybody watching, anybody that's, you know, inquiring as to the fact that, you know, is it how would you put it? Is it a social thing? It's you know, where we stand on a social platform, and so like being poor or being, you know, not so well off and everything else. But we know this, don't we? We know this. It happens from the top to the bottom, which is beautiful when we can meet each other in the middle, you know, and share that bond at the end of the day. You know, we can actually have these conversations and open each other up a little bit more, and know that behind all that is a decent human being who just wants to get on in life.
Can I ask you a question, Danny? Sorry for interrupting. When you come into recovery, did you find that you got judged because of the role that you did? Has he froze?
I think he's froze on us.
Has he froze on us? All right, no problem. I just want to bring it to Emily. I know you might have a couple of questions, but if Danny comes back in to ask him, what have you got anything to say, Emily?
Well, I was just when I was looking at the comments, my mum is Judith Wilbraham. She's watching, and when she was saying the comments about Danny, I thought she's probably amazed that I'm on this with an ex-copper. So she probably just thinks bloody hell. But yeah, my mum's on here, so yeah, that was really inspirational. I was a bit like, wow, he's probably arrested me, but he probably hasn't. I don't know. I remember. I wouldn't have remembered anyway. I'd have probably just.
I think they call it hope, Emily. Hope.
I was trying to keep it professional. Has he gone? Has he gone?
He's back.
Is he back?
He's back.
Yeah. I'd have remembered if he'd arrested me. Let's put it that way. But anyway, yeah, it's very inspirational, like you say. It just goes to show it doesn't matter who it takes. Everybody, doesn't it? It takes anybody, all walks of life, addiction. Do you know what I mean? I remember sitting in AA meetings and seeing people that were lawyers, teachers, and I'd be like, I think I was expecting to be some like little old tramp sat on the bench, you know, with a brown paper bag, and I was like, well, what's this about? So it just goes to show. But yeah, it was very inspirational. And just the fact that my mum's on, my mum would be like, oh, Emily's live. And I'm just a bit peed off, like, Danny, because when you said you'd done a Facebook page, I did a live video this morning and I got 13 views. You said something about like you've got a few thousand. I was like, that's shit. So I'm going to be back on tomorrow. I'm going to be trying to get I'm going to be like in competition now. I'm like, whoa.
Emily, we'll do one together, love.
Oh my God. Yeah, please.
There's enough that Emily will not refuse.
I'll send you a friend request.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Oh.
I'll ask Sam because I don't know whether you heard the question that.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
No, it's all right. It's not a problem, mate. I was just wondering, obviously, when you come into recovery, and obviously because of your role within the police, I was wondering, did you find a lot of judgment in the recovery community?
No, I didn't. But I think it's fair to say it was lockdown. So I wasn't really face to face with groups or anything like that because of the circumstance. I remember when I wanted to come, I wasn't ready, but a couple of years ago when I started thinking there were some issues, I was reticent to go into recovery because I was prejudgmental of people that I might see within the services. So I was judgmental in that respect. This time I was ready. So you could have put me in a room full of 100 people that I'd locked up. I was ready, and providing obviously I was safe and no untoward we're going to go on, I won't bother because you may gather, you may be able to see or understand, but I can work at a platform with everyone. You know, I used to mix it with the highest echelons of people that I didn't really want to be with, but then I can also mix and relate to and understand, more importantly, with people that have had it tough. And Scott makes a brilliant analogy that, you know, with addiction, we all meet together in the middle, no matter where you come from. And when you're ready and you understand it, you meet in that middle point. And, you know, at that point, you are so connected beyond belief. You're connected together.
And I think that's important. Sorry, Danny. And I think that's important as well. So, I mean, to know that, you know, addicts will meet in the middle. And I think the ones that have got the problem, we just need to help them to understand the kind of problem that they've got, because it's not necessarily towards us. It's probably fear towards actually, you know, getting a better understanding as to what we're suffering with at the end of the day. You know, and albeit it's a similar kind of suffering. And because I always say, if your pain's been that much or it's been that much, it doesn't really matter. It's the same substance. The same substance of pain, it all feels exactly the same. And, you know, to get that stuff out is amazing. Sorry, Danny. Sorry. So, guys, just remember, Danny Bolton is inviting you to jump onto his Facebook page. Emily.
Someone just said, Scott, I think they sent a message, Bolton. It's Bolton as in the place, just in case anyone does want to request.
It was me. I'm that eager to be your friend. It was me. I'm right. Don't worry.
Bolton, Daniel, it's my Sunday name, Emily. It's my Sunday name. It's Daniel.
Right, okay.
Bolton.
I think someone's put the link in the chat, so
Yeah.
you can follow him that way. So I encourage you to go on to Daniel Facebook page.
Do you know what, Daniel? Daniel, I've got your Sunday name now. Do you know what, Danny? Thank you very much for your time and for your patience. And I know that, you know, you've got life going on around you and everything else. You know, thank you for your inspiration, you know, for your humility as well. You know, I think it's been massive. And again, to Louise, I'd like to thank her massively. I think we've lost Louise at this moment in time. Gemma, do you want to just bring you back in to see if we've got any lasting comments? Because we're going to play out with Nigel in a minute with another song.
Yeah, so we've just had a few more comments to Danny. I've got legend, fantastic, cheered me up tonight, this. Yeah, just all love. Just all love, just lots of love.
Brilliant. And Tommy Tierney's back here. Tommy,
yeah, I've just seen that.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Come on, Sonny, feel the love.
Can I just say before Gemma carries on, I just want everyone just to give Tommy some love, because obviously he's back on the platform, which is evident to see. Everyone's got a lot of love for him, and I'm glad to have you back, Tommy. So well done, pal.
One of our leading characters in Red Rose. Again, it's like Louise said, we don't shoot the wounded, we try and help them. And it's actually a massive love to Tommy. So, Danny, thank you again. Thank you very much. And no doubt we will carry on having conversations, and I'll no doubt be following you on your own page as well. See how the suffering goes with the walking. But I'm there. I'm there in spirit, pal. I'm there in spirit.
I didn't know how it would go when I went across the border on the God's country side of it, but I thought I'd throw it in quickly.
It's all right, Lancashire User Forum, but it's that sort of, let's just say everybody's User Forum tonight. Everybody's User Forum. We're all one. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Nigel.
Yes, Scott, thank you.
Have you enjoyed tonight, Nigel?
Sorry?
Have you enjoyed tonight?
I have actually. It's been really nice. It's really been good. I love the shares, Emily's shares and Daniel's share. I'm from Halifax, Daniel, so there is a good chance we met.
You may have crossed paths in another time walk, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on, Nigel. What are you playing us out with?
Purple Rain by Prince, Unplugged. I did this on the air a few weeks ago, but I did it with a backing track. I'm going to do it unplugged though tonight.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You take it away, Nigel.
Thank you.
I'm gonna cause you any sorrow. I'm gonna cause you any pain. Only one time, see you laughing. Only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I never wanted to be your weekend lover. I wanna be some kind of a friend. Yeah, everything I've seen you from another. Such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. rain. Honey, I know the times they are changing. It's time I reached out for something new. I need you to say Maria, but you can't seem to make it right. Think you better close it. Let me guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you living in the purple rain.
I did my little air guitar then. I don't know if anyone saw it, but I was just trying to keep up with Nige. But
Oh, well done, Nigel. Well done. Yeah, I'd like to thank you as well tonight for coming on. Let's just bring Gemma in and we'll have a few more words off Emily because we know Emily's got the energy of energy anyway. Gemma, any lasting comments? Any lasting comments? Loves, likes?
Yep, so Lindsay, love you, Nige. Sue, great show. Alison, great show tonight, everyone. Alison again, love this song. Dan Littlechild, great show tonight, guys. Well done. Well done, everybody in sorry, I got a bit tongue-tied then. Well done, everybody in the LUF. And then Tracy, brilliant, great way to finish the meet. Love it.
Right, Gemma, can I just say massive well done to yourself as well, you know, for joining the platform tonight. Well done. Showing us your courage, and I know how nervous you were right at the beginning, and thank you for sharing the love and the questions and, you know, the inspiration of the other guys and what have you. You know, it's people like you that are this, that truly show inspiration that anything can be defeated, you know, with the help of others as well. Emily, do you want to say a few words before we jump out?
well, I was just you were laughing before. My phone buzzed, and I hope it didn't sound like I'd broke wind or something, like live on the LUF or something. Did you hear laughing at?
Absolutely.
Well, won't surprise me anyway.
No, it buzzed, and you went, and I thought, oh, they're going to think that I've like. I hadn't. Someone sent me a message. I've really enjoyed it tonight. I've really enjoyed. Nige is really good. Really enjoyed Nige, and I've enjoyed the shares and the stories. So yeah, a lot of inspiration. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for jumping on as well. And well done for your puzzle productions and your intro on that one. We will be, like we said, waiting for the box set and everything else. Glenn, I think you've got a few words to say before we go.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. Louise did send a message saying that she had to go, so I just want to thank Louise. Also, I just want to thank everyone that's been on. Nigel, brilliant again, because I know you've been on again. And Gemma and Emily, what can I say? Inspirational as always. But what I want to say is that this platform's for anybody that wants to get involved. So what I encourage is to, like I said, and I know I've said it again and I might be repeating myself, but go on the Red Rose Recovery website, contact one of us, message us on Facebook, contact us by any way means, and you can get involved in this sort of platform. And it might not be for you to come on platforms like this, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And I know that we may front it, and it might be our faces on here, but the work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't come on this platform as well. So there's loads of things to do. Can I ask, I put a link in the chat, there is a survey, and I would welcome people to fill it out. It's only a short survey, and also to like and share, because you can like and share. It doesn't have to be now, it can go on for all week, but also to follow the Lancashire User Forum Facebook page. And I think that is that. No, go on.
No, I think on the back end, you know, promoting not just Red Rose, but where us guys have come from. You know, because we've all followed Red Rose right from the beginning. You know, we've started off as volunteers. You know, got maybe, you know, we found part-time and full-time jobs, Glenn. I know you guys are well up there, you know, in the running of, you know, when other opportunities are coming up, and this is why you guys, not so much why you guys are sticking around, but just knowing the kind of inspiration that it shows to everybody else. You know, Red Rose has been a massive part of my journey. So again, I absolutely advocate the fact that, you know, Red Rose, Lancashire User Forum, the kind of platforms where we can get his voice heard. You know, we start getting a bit of self-worth, where we start getting recognised, and we start getting identification as well, guys. So massive, massive well done, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. Come on. You feel the love.
When is the winner for the dressing up? Did I miss that? When's that being announced?
No, you didn't miss it, Emily, and you must just not have been listening. You don't listen to me anyway, but so you must not have been listening.
I wasn't listening.
So what I said was, I think it'd be a bit uncalled for if I said who the winner was. So I'm going to open it up and get a few people on a panel, and they can decide who the winner is. So what I will do is we'll get a panel together, and one day this week I will put it on the Lancashire User Forum Facebook page live with the winner.
Right,
So,
okay. Yeah, I wasn't listening.
Have we closed the page down for that? Is that now entries over?
Rules are rules. So we put it out. So whoever entered by midnight on Friday, they're the ones that are going into the hat. So,
oh, killer. I have my dress ready as well. Oh, killer. What a shame. Anyway.
and I think there's a few comments that's gone out saying I should come on as Glenda next time. So
why not? Why not?
Maybe.
We could have Colin and Glenda. You could do like a live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that one.
Colin. You know who Colin is, don't you?
I know who Colin is. Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah. So the winner will be announced. I just want to say thank you to We Are With You as well, who donated the £20 boots voucher. So when we do announce the winner, you will get one from Red Rose Recovery and one from We Are With You.
So once again, thank you very much, guys. Big love from myself. Big love from Glenn, Gemma, Emily, Nigel. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your
Nigel.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
No, absolutely fine, Nigel. You're welcome anytime on these platforms. And I think we're safe to say we can end it on that. So goodbye from me and goodbye from him. Her, Glenda.
See you later, guys.
See you in a bit. Bye-bye.